Welcome back to my channel. I'm here covered in books because I just took the thumbnail and the lighting is horrendous, but that's winter for you. I have my matcha here, or what's left of it. I wanted to use my favorite mug, but it's in the dishwasher, so we're doing the best we can. I haven't recorded one of these videos in a while. I actually wanted to use mic, but I could not use a mic for this, so I hope the quality is good. If this is like horrible quality, I'm still going to post it though, so I'll just apologize in advance. So welcome back to my channel, and this is the books that I want to read in theory in February. So I say in theory because I always end up doing like TBR lists and stuff, but then I will mood read most of it, so it might not be what it looks like it will be. Or maybe I just make this TBR and in March I feel like I still want to read the same books, so I don't make a March TBR. I don't know, I think that the last TBR I made was actually in October or something, and like before that I did it in August. So basically like when my moods change, I do a new TBR, but I call it the name of the month because it more or less aligns with the month we are in. So right now, we are doing a February TBR. I'm just going to start picking up like the books that I have on top of me. I also have a list here in my Homonichi, so I'll just like any book that is on the list is actually some of these, but also books that I want to read that I still don't have or that I want to read on my Kindle. So that's like, I just have the list to remind myself of those books, because if not, I'm not going to remember them. Let's start with the books that I've actually already started and that I should talk about, because I'll keep reading them. Like, I don't finish all my books every month, so I'll just keep reading these ones. So first off, there is The Clockwork Princess by Cassandra Clare. This is the third book in the Infernal Devices series, which is my favorite Shadowhunter series. I actually, not gonna lie, I only read the first book in Immortal Instruments and I didn't read the rest. I watched the show and the movie at the time, but then when the show started doing weird stuff, I stopped watching it. So I actually have no idea where that goes. But when I was 16, I read this series in Spanish, and basically now I am rereading it and vlogging the entire thing for you guys. So if you're interested, that vlog will come out hopefully soon. This is the last one. I've vlogged myself reading the first one and the second one already. And we're around, this bookmark is not where it should be, but we are right now more or less around 200 pages in, so you can expect the vlog of this soon. I'll probably finish it this week, to be fair. I hope you can see everything right, because I have like a light here that's like my reading light, actually, not even a cute light, and then I have the fairy lights from the bookshelf and that light there. I'm trying to make it seem or like feel cozy, because if I'm going for good lighting today, I won't get it. Also, I'm not wearing my necklace. I'll look for my necklace after this video because I really need my necklace. Next, another book that I'm also reading is The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath, and I'm actually not that far along. I'm like in chapter 5, which is 50 pages in. I'm actually reading this very, very, very calmly. I'm taking my time because I don't know why, during the last couple of weeks, my brain just clicked and my brain was like, you are going to graduate very soon with a degree in modern languages and specialized in English language and literature. So like, why are you not reading all the classics you want to read? A big reason why I feel like I always doubt myself when it comes to classics is because of the critical analysis that I don't feel I know how to do properly. I can, like, don't get me wrong, I can do critical analysis, but not to the point where I would want to. So I started reading this and I've decided that I'm going to just like write down whatever I feel like could work for a critical analysis, and then at the end of it I will try to an extent to do it, but then I will actually just like not do it myself, but look it up and see if the hints that I found along the way are actually consistent, or if I just talked out of my ass, which could happen, but yeah. And then we have another book that I started a while ago, but that I did not finish, and it's Long Way Down by Kristen Becca Ritchie. So I started this during the summer because I was feeling really nostalgic and really wanting to go back to that me, I guess, that was fully consumed by this series and then read the Boys of Tommen series and was fully consumed by it. I do have a problem with reading the last books of series. I kind of like always avoid it. I actually, I think still haven't watched the end of Teen Wolf because I do not want it to end. And I remember that when I watched the end of the Vampire Diaries series, I cried my eyes out. So I kind of have a problem with finishing stuff. I just don't want it to end. And in my brain, these characters are real, so I don't want their story to end. I don't want to be cut out of their story. So I'm just like not reading it. And to be fair, Raik and Daisy are not my favorite couple. I would say that my favorite couple right now would be Lily and Lauren, and then Connor and Rose. I feel like I've been appreciating more and more character studies, and Lily and Lauren are the ones that I have more content on. There's 5 books about them, so like of course I've gotten to know them better. Raik and Daisy are not my favorite couple. I still love them very dearly, so I still want to finish this at some point, but that point is not right now. I'm just like putting it in my TBR because I feel like with the mood I'm in, it might align and I might end up reading it. And a quick read that I also want to read this month is Heartstopper by Alice Oseman. So this is the 5th book in the Heartstopper series, and I'm like 20% in maybe. I started reading this in the video that I recorded in October, trying to read 200 pages a day. So I will just try to finish it. I feel like it's a quick read. I feel like I really like Heartstopper and I want to watch the show. So I'm just going to read it. Like it will probably take me an afternoon to reread the entire part that I already read and read the rest. Now we get into new books. And on the one hand, we have Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. I really want to read this month as soon as possible. Actually, as soon as I finish the bell jar, I'll probably pick this up. To be fair, I would really love to read it in Valentine's, like read the entire thing in Valentine's Day. And you might wonder, oh, are you going out with your boyfriend now? My boyfriend and I have a long distance relationship, so he will not be here in Valentine's. And I'll have the day to spend as I wish, which will be reading Pride and Prejudice. I feel like this is like one of the original like classic romances. It's the one that most people know. I don't know, I just feel like it's a disgrace that I haven't read it. It's a disgrace that I actually have only read 1 book by Jane Austen. It was Persuasion. I read it in 2nd year of uni, and I still feel like I want to read the rest of Jane Austen's books. I want to read all of Jane Austen. So I feel like this is a perfect opportunity to read Pride and Prejudice. Now, there is another classic here, and that is Wuthering Heights. I also want to read something by the Bronte sisters, and yeah, as I said, like I'm in the mood to read some classic literature, some books that I've considered high culture, highbrow, and that I feel like I should be educated enough at this point to read, but I have still been reluctant to pick them up. So I am most likely going to pick this out soon, but this is like secondary. I feel like Pride and Prejudice is going to be my priority, and I'll pick this up after I finish Pride and Prejudice, if I finish Pride and Prejudice, and if I'm in the mood for another classic book. But I heard that like some of the dialogue here, it's like extremely complicated to follow because the writing is not done the way writing should be done, but like the way the words are pronounced. I heard something around that. I'm not sure though. Wait for my review at some point of this to know. I actually believe that this is happening or not. Oh, amazing. Now it starts raining. I mean, the coziness of the environment is there. So like 10 out of 10 for the effort. Now, the rain is taking away even more light. So this is getting hard. Another book that I have is Beach Read. Beach Read is what some people believe is one of the best books by Emily Henry. Is I think the first one she wrote. And why am I introducing this book? You probably already know about it. I heard so much good stuff about it because apparently this book was a little bit based on her experience or something. I'm not exactly sure, but I am planning to get into Emily Henry. I have like 3 of her books already purchased. I have this one, People We Meet on Vacation, and Book Lovers on my shelf, and I still haven't read them. So I'm just going to like probably read these as soon as possible. But also like when I'm in the mood. Like that's kind of like the thing here. It's like, oh, I will read it as soon as possible, but when I'm in the mood. Then another book that I really want to read finally and get out of the way, or like not get out of the way, but Taming 7. I actually read everything by Chloe Walsh. I started the Ocean-based series. I did not like it. I started like this month I've read Treacherous by Chloe Walsh from the Carter Kids series, and I actually did not like it either. I'm thinking maybe of doing a wrap-up of all the books that I read in January. Comment down below if you would be interested in that. But basically, people say that this is like the worst book in the Voice of Thomas series, and that's why at the time like pushed me back from reading it, because I really love this universe, and I do not want to get it tainted by an image that I don't like. And I really love Gypsy and Claire, and I don't know what happens in this book, but I'm scared. Also, like, I'm kind of mad that now I have to buy all the books with the Piat publishing house, whatever. I have the British one because I was in Ireland when this came out, and because I actually have the original self-published copies of every other book except this one, like Binding 13, Keeping 13, Saving 6, and Redeeming 6. I have all of them in the OG copies, and like now I would have to, like, I already bought Binding 13 in this copy. I actually really like these editions, the British ones. I do not like the American ones at all, but yeah, it still kind of gets me a little bit, because I would buy them regardless, but now you're forcing me to buy them. Now, another book that is resurfacing from the depths of my bookshelf is Along With You in the Ether. Ignore this part here. My dog bit it off. I mean, it didn't bite it off, but they did bite it one time when I left the book unattended in my bed. But yeah, so talking about OG versions, this is the original self-published copy of Along With You in the Ether, which I still remember that the pages were not ruled, so like you have a like this is not straight, and I remembered it as something hard to read, but I still have like a lot of annotations on it from like the first time around that I tried to read it. I didn't get that far. I actually, the last where the bookmark left off was in the page 160, which is more or less halfway through, to be fair, a little bit over halfway through. So I think that now, years later, and with much better English, because that's also like a factor that plays into it, right? Like, I'm not a native English speaker, and my English has advanced in the last couple of years. Mostly last year when I was in Ireland, but during the 4 years of my degree, it's been going forward. Right now, with much better English, more knowledge on how to read complicated books, or like books that might be a little bit harder to understand, I can read these and really enjoy it, I hope. And a book that I also want to read is the book that I got for Christmas, or as a Christmas present from my brothers, and they actually bought for me Blue Sisters by Coco Malors. I did not read Cleopatra and Frankenstein. It's in my TBR now. I actually, like, I've seen it so many times, and it never actually like piqued my interest that much. But I feel like I'm more in like my contemporary novels era, not contemporary, but like just fiction, you know, general fiction era, and I want to read this. And later on, maybe, who knows, I'll read Intermezzo by Sally Rooney, which is also in my TBR, but like in my future TBR, because I'm not in the mood for it right now. But yeah, I'm in the mood for this one because I was gifted this one, and because actually I want to reduce my entire TBR this year. I've done a Google Sheets document where I've listed every book I own and if I read it or not, and I actually realized that I've already read like 40% of the books I own, which, to be fair, a lot of the books I own, I don't own them because I wanted them, but because my brother wanted them. We share the same shelf, so that might be why. But yeah, I'll just like, I want to read this to like keep going on my goal to reduce my physical TBR. I want to at least say that I've read 60% of the books that I own by the end of this year. So, and there is like 200 of them, so that's reading like at least 40. Then I have a book in Basque, actually. So for the people who don't know, I'm Basque. I speak Basque and Spanish, and even though right now most of my life, or like most of what I read is in English, I want to recover my Basque roots, or like not recover, but during my year in Ireland, I got really scared by the fact that my ability to speak in Basque went down so much. I felt extremely worried because I've always had classes in Basque, but of course in Ireland you do not have classes in Basque, and just talking to my family doesn't cut it for me to keep being able to speak the language with enough fluency, or like as fluent as I would like. So there's this book, Atzerrian, by Nerea Balda, and the thing is that I bought this book in the Durango Guastoca. There's a short of that day if you're interested, and it's just a short book. It's like 115 pages, and it's about someone who is from the Basque Country but lives in London, and she's actually a translator and interpreter, which is an option that I'm considering for work after my master's and after like a really long time. But yeah, so I feel like it's really up my alley. It's quite similar to me as a person, I guess, and I would like to read it. I would like to read it and be able to say something about it, or like at least feel like, you know, I was able to read it. The text is extremely big. The only thing is that I usually don't read fast literature because I feel like it has a tendency for social commentary, and I'm not always in the mood for social commentary. So that's kind of the thing. I feel like there is not really for adults anything that's not either thriller or extremely written with social commentary. I would like something that's just like light, but we don't have that currently. So I'm just going to read this one because it piqued my interest. I don't know if I'll read anything else in Basque in the future. I want to, but I'll see if there's anything that actually calls to me. And then I have Kim Young, born in 1982, and this book I bought when I was in Ghent, so watch my last video if you want. But I heard this book for the first time a while ago, and I actually really want to read it. This book is by a Korean author, and it actually talks about the situation of women in Korea. The life story of one young woman born at the end of the 20th century raises questions about endemic misogyny and institutional oppression that are relevant to all of us. I just feel like being radicalized for legal reasons. That's yo. So then lastly, I will say that I still want to do a Throne of Glass / Court of Mist and Fury reading vlog. So I still want to do a Sarah J. Maas reading vlog, and so that's why Throne of Glass is in my TBR. I hope I will be able to do it at some point, but we will see. The only thing is that lately, like, I've been getting a lot more information about the fact that Sarah J. Maas might be a scientist, or like might support the state of. So I'm just going to probably read it, but look more into that beforehand. So as I said, I also have some books that I want to read that I don't have the physical copies of, or that I don't have them right now. So I'll just talk about them. I want to read The Poppy War this month too. I feel like this is one of the books that I'm considering using for my thesis research. I'm doing my thesis on anti-intellectualism and book talk mostly, or like the phenomenon around it, and I feel like The Poppy War is a good example of a book that's been oversimplified a lot of times compared to A Court of Thorns and Roses even. I've seen TikToks of people literally complaining because they were recommended The Poppy War and they were like, oh, this is not like The Court of Thorns and Roses. This is not a real enemies to lovers. No, it's fucking not. So I want to read The Poppy War by Erev Kwang. Also last year I read Yellowface by her and I really liked it. So I feel like if I read The Poppy War, like I would like it more. And I also own Babel. And then I also have Deep End by Ali Hazelwood in my TBR. So Ali Hazelwood is an author that I have actually read so much of, even though she's not my favorite. Like, I like her writing, I like what I read, I like the fan persona, because I guess that, like, she's just a fan. She just wrote fanfics. She's just like, you know, she's like all of us. But also, like, her writing is not like something that I particularly love. Like, I like it, I enjoy it, but it's not something that I'm like blown out of. But apparently I've read every single book by her. Drinking my matcha over my books might be a little bit dangerous. So yeah, I want to read Deep End because it's the only one that I haven't read at this point. And I don't know, it's just like, I feel like it's a good time. It's a fun time. It's not a long time, but it's a good time. I think that's it. I want to do more sit down videos. I feel like I really enjoy them. It's just that, and they are actually less work to edit. It's just that right now during winter, like as I said, lighting is off, it starts raining, people are at home, so they are talking. I have to use the mic. I couldn't use the mic today because my computer is doing weird stuff. So I'm like more conditioned when I'm doing sit down videos, but yeah, I'll do more, or I'll try to. And once again, if you want to see the books that I read in January, if you want me to go back to it, some kind of wrap up, comment it down below and I'll see what I can do. And that's it for today's video. I hope you liked this video. If you liked it, you might consider subscribing because for you it's not much and for me it will make my day. And I hope to see you soon. Bye!